Sam Prestonbach, and I am the creator of the Fed to Fit system and community. It is so great to have you here today. And as you come on, I would love for you to share where you're at, where you're joining us from, and what you're excited to learn today, and maybe some obstacles you face. If you look down below, you'll see a Q&A tab. You can go to that button and you can put questions that you have. And then once I'm done with today's webinar, I will answer questions with the time that I have left. So, hi, and welcome to this month's Fed to Fit Girl Talk series. This is a new series that I'm creating that will be monthly. It will be the last Tuesday of every month where I will dive into important topics related to women's health, fitness, and weight loss, and also bring experts on for you too, so you can learn outside of the box and really empower yourself as you're creating your best health. So I just want to do a quick introduction before we dive into today's topic, this month's topic that I'm so excited about. But who am I and why should you listen to me? First and foremost, I'm a woman. And I have experienced all the similar struggles that most women have experienced in their health and their fitness. And also, I am a 40-plus-year-old woman. So not only do I know the standard struggles that a woman faces when it comes to her health and her nutrition, I am now experiencing the extras to it that come with aging. But I've always kind of considered myself the transformation queen until I came up to against some major obstacles that I had never faced this last time around having baby number 5. You see at the bottom it says 5 pregnancies and 5 postpartum transformations. And I don't have a picture of my first one on here with my first baby, but I have been having babies since 2008. So the first photos are somewhat hard to find. But if you look at the screen, you'll see that I have been able to transform my body, not just through pregnancies, but through natural aging, of course, and other obstacles that us women face when it comes to our health. I have tried so many things. I am a personal trainer, a former gym owner. I am a current coach. I believe in many systems and many ways of eating. And I believe most importantly now in really educating yourself, not just to eat in a way that gets you these transformations, but to eat in a way that transforms your body the best possible way from the inside out. And there is a difference. And that's something, if you look at this screen, from my earlier transformations, the first one being after that you see here is after baby number 2, baby number 3, baby number 4, and then the last one being number 5, is that my strategies and my mindset are completely different now than they were when I was first getting started. But I will tell you that every single thing I have done along the way has served me and brought me to the point that I am today. So as we go through this information, I need you first and foremost to understand that while we all have similar human bodies with similar hormones and similar nutrition needs, we are not all starting off in the same place in life with the same capacity, skill sets, finances, and whatnot. And so where someone else might start may not be a great starting point for you. And so as you learn this, I want you to know that knowledge is power. But the first thing that you're going to do with the knowledge that you gain is put it in your back pocket and ask yourself, where must you start today in order to simply be able to move forward towards your healthiest self tomorrow and all the years to come? So hi, I am your host. I'm Samantha Prestonbach. Most people call me Sam, and you can too. All my friends do. And like I said, I've been health and fitness for a long time. Since I was 18 is when I picked up this career. So my entire adult life. But most importantly, I am a wife to my husband, Harold, for 20 plus years, and I am a mom to 5 beautiful kids. Oh, so sorry, let me stop the share. So now let's dive into our topic today, okay? So now that you know who I am, you know what I'm about, and you understand some of the things I've done, we're going to dive into our topic today. And that is your fat burning hormones and how you are either turning them off or you are going to turn them on. And newsflash, ladies, a lot of us have not been given the very important strategies to know the difference when we are turning our fat burning hormones on for us or when we're actually turning them off. And unfortunately, also, a lot of strategies that can be very good to get us started in our health simultaneously, when done too long or overused, can actually turn our hormones off. So, hi again. If you're just joining us, I'm Samantha Prestonbach. I'm a personal trainer, health coach, and creator of the Fed to Fit system and community. But most important, again, I'm just a woman. I'm a wife. I'm a mom to 5 kids. And I'm here sharing this information with you today because I believe that that's what we must do. We should help women and empower women to lead their best and healthy lives. So, after every baby, like I mentioned, I had lost a majority of the baby weight by 1 year. I know. I've had 5 kids. I was somewhat spoiled in my mindset of thinking that that was always going to be my reality. I expected the similar experience after baby number 5, and I felt like I had the strategy I needed to be so confident simply just because I had done it so many times, as you saw. My story really started to unfold even more so when last September I woke up 17 months postpartum and I looked in the mirror and thought, why does my body still look like this? Why does my body look like I'm 6 months postpartum when I am getting closer to being 2 years postpartum? Whose body is this even? Have you ever felt like this, ladies? Have you ever looked in the mirror and thought, who is like looking back at me right now? See, the thing was, I was actually pretty perplexed. I had been doing all the right things, or so I thought, right? I was breastfeeding, I was staying active, I was moving my body. I wasn't working out rigorously, but these were all the things I'd done in the past. And I was watching what I ate, but something was off. At 42, my body wasn't bouncing back like it had after my other babies. And we know women don't bounce, but I felt like I did. And instead of losing fat, I felt like my body was storing it in new places. And I did not like this, but my belly and my arms, and it threw me off. But the worst part, what was the worst part for me? I was exhausted like I'd never been exhausted before. Not just I need a nap tired, but deep bone level fatigue. Like my body was screaming, something isn't right. So I did what most of us do when we feel stuck, most women. I cut back even more. I tried to eat even less, thinking that would finally get my body to respond. But instead of losing fat, my cravings got worse. My energy tanked even more. And no matter how good I did during the day, eventually, and multiple times a week, I found myself raiding the pantry for the fix. You know what I'm talking about, right, ladies? And my body just held on to fat harder and longer than I was used to. So, does that sound familiar? And that's when I learned something, though, that changed everything. Right when I thought, this is 40 and this might be as good as it gets, because this is what people have told me, I decided to lean into not just trying to understand the best, fastest ways to lose weight, but the healthiest ways. And I learned that fat loss isn't just about eating less or working out more like my old strategies. Fat loss is about hormones. And if your hormones are out of balance because of lifestyle choices you're making that, seem harmless, it doesn't matter how much or how many workouts you do. or how much you restrict your calories and how many workouts you do, your body will fight you every step of the way at a certain point of your life. And when I started researching the impact of nutrition for our internal health in conjunction with the external results I wanted, that's when my life and my health changed. I was baffled that we as women are not taught this. And that's why I created this community. No woman left behind, right? So today I'm going to show you exactly which hormones control fat loss and how to make them work for you instead of against you. All right, so if you're ready, drop ready in the comments. All right, let's break down the 5 hormones that control whether your body burns fat or stores it like crazy. Number 1, insulin, the fat storage gatekeeper. Insulin is not completely the bad guy. Insulin released when you eat, especially carbs, it regulates nutrition. So when insulin is too high for too long for your body, it stores fat instead of burning it. And what happens when insulin is too high? Your body stays in storage mode all day. You get stuck on a blood sugar roller coaster, spiking, crashing, craving carbs. You feel like you always need a snack. Is this resonating with anyone? Now, what keeps insulin high and blocks fat burning? Eating high carb meals without protein. And like, even if you are eating protein with it, it may not be enough, or without fiber. Snacking all day, even on healthy foods, and processed carbs and sugar. Now, how do we get insulin to work for us? We want to eat balanced meals. Each meal should have protein, fiber is a missing component, and healthy fats. And carb cycling can help too. Have lower carb days to reset your insulin. It makes you more insulin sensitive, which is good. It is the opposite of insulin resistance. And then you want to eat more carbs when your body can use them. For instance, you can eat carbs strategically after a workout. Your body is primed to use them properly. So I want you to ask yourself, are you in that situation? Do you resonate with any of that? How many of you feel like you always need a snack or crash an hour after eating? That's insulin doing its thing. And it's funny, but this is exactly when I personally reach for coffee or nut thins or jerky or peanut butter on a spoon with chocolate chips sometimes. And sometimes I was reaching for far worse things. Let's face it, if it was available, I was absolutely kind of out of control and thinking sometimes that I was doing a good thing with even the healthy snacks, but honestly, only pissing off my insulin more. What if I wanted a snack though? So here's the thing, ask yourself, what if you want a snack? Because I loved my snacking. I really did. I didn't want to part with it. But this flipped my mindset. When I thought about snacking, I asked myself this question. Does a snack have to be set apart for a meal for it to be a snack and to be enjoyable? And the answer was no, it didn't. So even though I was used to eating 100 calories, 200 calories here or there, which newsflash is not a meal, and then going later and grabbing a little bit of something here and a little bit of something there, not only did it not add up to the calories that I needed, being sometimes in a deficit maybe, and sometimes in a surplus where I could actually gain the weight I had actually lost back and not even know it because it was healthy. I asked myself, if it's something I really want and enjoy, after having a whole food meal, can I learn to integrate it into a meal versus feeling like I have to eat it later? And the fact remains, I like guacamole and I do like some nut thins, or I do like some sweet potato chips. And sometimes I'll make healthier versions, but sometimes I just want the other thing too. And I have learned how to move that into my meals versus having the habit of grazing all day that never lets my insulin do its job. Your insulin doesn't just store fat, it is also a role in burning fat. All right, so number 2, glucagon, the fat releasing hormone, fat releasing. If insulin stores fat when it's constantly elevated, glucagon burns it. It signals your body to break down stored fat for energy. Now, what happens when glucagon is turned off? It's not good. Your body never gets the message to burn fat. You rely on food constantly for energy snacking instead of tapping into stored fat. You feel like you crash without frequent meals. And let's talk about what blocks it. What blocks this fat burning hormone? Again, snacking all day, keeping insulin high constantly, not eating enough protein. Are we seeing a pattern here, ladies? Are you hearing some similar things that are going to be responsible for either turning off your fat burning hormones or turning them on? Now, how do you boost glucagon and unlock fat burning potential? Eat 30 to 40 grams of protein at your main meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I wrote a post on this recently on my Facebook. If you focused on this one thing to get started, actually eating, and I like to say 35 to 45 too, but 30 to 40 or 35 to 45 at breakfast, lunch, and dinner, I challenge you to do that for 7 to 14 days and then come back and tell me if you really care about snacking that much. So yeah, so you want to stop snacking and you want to allow your body time to also actually burn fat. Allow your stomach to not have food in it. Try a 12-hour overnight fast, or i.e., just stop eating after dinner after 7 p.m. and then don't eat again until 7 a.m. Glucagon isn't something you just make happen, aka fat burn, by eating very low calories or carbs. It's something you stimulate by eating the right combinations of foods in larger amounts than you are actually used to, and getting that dialed in precisely to what your body needs to thrive, to lean out, and to feel the way you want to feel. All right, number 3. This is a popular one, cortisol, the stress hormone that can work for you, not completely a bad guy again, or against you. Now, cortisol is not the enemy. It wakes you up in the morning and it helps you handle stress. But when it stays chronically high in your body, it clings to belly fat. So, what are some of the signs that cortisol is keeping you stuck? Well, you feel stressed or anxious all the time. I really, really struggled with this. In fact, before I had baby number 5, I look back and now see that I was probably struggling with elevated cortisol levels. I struggled with alcohol. I was not an alcoholic, but the thing that scared me was I thought about alcohol on a daily basis because I was wound so tight and my body was so anxious that the next step would have been for me, had I not gotten pregnant a 5th time, would be to lean on some medications, which, those have great benefits for people that do need them. But I look back and see now that it really wasn't that I needed medication, but it was me resorting to constantly snacking, grazing all day, not getting the right amount of protein, fats, and even carbs, resorting to too low carb too often to drop body fat. Okay, I went off on a tangent, but here's another sign. You also wake up exhausted, but you get a second wind at night. Anyone resonating with any of this? Put in the comments what you are experiencing right now. You also would find that you store fat around your belly even when eating healthy. So, like, even if you are in a caloric deficit, you are dropping weight, you feel like your stomach, the belly fat in your stomach, is going nowhere. And this was the first time that I experienced that after having baby number 5. And I just couldn't settle for the fact that, oh, I'm over 40 and I've had 5 babies. I knew something was off. Now, what makes cortisol go through the roof? Too much cardio. Okay, make sure you're taking notes. Too much cardio, yes. Over exercising can spike cortisol. I want you to think anything that puts undue stress on the body is going to spike your cortisol. Poor sleep, one bad night of sleep jacks up your cortisol completely. So if you are postpartum, if you are prone to staying up late, this is something I see a lot of my female clients struggle with, not just female clients, but men too. But I know my women because when everyone else goes to sleep, that is typically your me time. But I'm telling you right now, it might feel good for you to have that for yourself because it's so quiet in the house, but it's not actually serving you in your other goals that you have. It would be much better for you to get that me time with your head on the pillow. All right. And what are some other things? Stress overload, just in relation to like maybe work, relationships, or even constantly worrying about food. Now, how do you lower cortisol and burn fat more easily? Slow down. Let's do this together. Slow down right now. I want you to take a breath. Anxiety can be a choice. And when we're so rattled up, and because we're women, we think we're all so good at multitasking, but it is taking a toll on your health, not just your mental health, but as you're seeing right here, your physical health. So I want you to work on slowing down when you can. I want you to work on breathing. Breath work is important. Prayer and intentional rest. You need this. Walk daily. Walking actually lowers cortisol. And that's not to mention if you can get outside and get the sunshine on your face and in your eyes, that you're increasing your vitamin D absorption, which is also critical for regulating these hormones that we're talking about. And then I want you to focus on getting quality sleep. Every single hormone depends on this. It's not just these 5. All right, so here's a bonus. Trust your nutrition plan. Look, when I started changing things up and I decided that I had chasing fast weight loss for me was a thing of the past, that I was committed to building my healthiest body now, but also my healthiest body that was going to carry me through perimenopause, menopause, turning into a grandmother, and just being the most lively and thriving 60, 70, 80, 90, 100-year-old that I could be within my power. So yeah, but I had doubts, but I was calculated in my choices. If I ate according to the Fed to Fit structure, there was zero doubts, zero, that I was eating right. And then I told myself this phrase. I want you to write this down. Every single day, I said this to myself when I was doubting myself. There's nothing wrong with eating right. This gave me a peace that surpassed my current understanding or belief. And you will need to have your own saying too, and your affirmations that you say to yourself each day when you look in the mirror. You're going to have to remind yourself why you're getting off the roller coaster of dieting and why you're choosing to eat in a way that is truly sustainable, that can create the health in the body that you want by not undoing all the other things inside of us that need to go right. All right, number 4 is leptin, the metabolism regulator. Put leptin in the comments if you're listening. Leptin tells your brain you're full. It also keeps your metabolism running. What happens when leptin is off? Your metabolism slows way down. You feel constantly hungry even after eating. You get intense cravings for junk food. And let's talk about what lowers leptin and wrecks your metabolism. Poor sleep, Again, okay, we're not getting affirmations that sleep is important. Here you go. We got another one. It directly lowers your leptin. Over restricting calories, your body lowers leptin to save energy. And this is also known as metabolic adaptation, which the lower you lower your calories and the longer you stay there, because eating low calories for short periods of time can almost mimic a fast. And there are benefits to it for a short period of time. But constantly overusing it to just lose weight and to lose weight quick is not a lifelong strategy. So it lowers, when you lower your calories, it lowers your metabolism, and leptin is lowered to save energy. Now, how do you reset your leptin and boost your metabolism? Eat enough food. There we go. There's another repeater. Starving yourself wrecks leptin. Prioritize healthy fats and protein. Again, sleep at least 7 to 8 hours a night. And I want to remind you that circadian rhythms are a thing. So even though you're going to justify the habits that are hardest to break, because guess what? I did too. And I used to be an night owl, but it just wasn't serving me anymore. So you can try to justify that you can stay up until midnight and still get 7 hours to sleep, but it's not the same quality of sleep as if you would go to bed at, say, like 9, 10 o'clock at night at the latest. It's not the same quality of sleep. So we need to not just work on the time that we get sleeping, but the time frame is important for your body too. Plus, if you stay up late, I always say this, nothing good happens after 9 p.m. It's going to be harder and harder for you to stick to the nutrition you have in place for yourself. And if you're eating late at night, you're not allowing your body to regulate the things that it should be regulating and restoring at night. So no doubt my leptin was way off. I'm a breastfeeding mom that nurses beyond 2 years for 5 babies, and that spans from 2008 to 2023. And I'm a woman who has resorted to eating low calories over exercising and cutting out carbohydrates to cut the fat on my body quicker. Is your story starting to make sense too, or am I alone? Right? Are you starting to see a pattern here of lifestyle choices that just simply have brought you to where you are today? And I want to tell you, we can correct this. Okay, so let's get to the last but not least. Number 5, GLP-1, the gut hormone that naturally helps you burn fat. GLP-1 slows digestion, it stabilizes blood sugar, and controls hunger. Weight loss drugs like Ozempic, Tirzepatide, and Mounjaro work by mimicking GLP-1, but your body can make it naturally. Now, what are the signs that GLP-1 is too low? You feel hungry all the time. You crave sugar and carbs constantly. How do you boost natural GLP-1? Eat 30 to 40 grams of protein per meal. Again, same thing that stimulates leptin and glucagon is going to also stimulate your natural GLP-1. Eat fiber-rich foods like veggies, legumes, fruits, chia. These are some of my favorite. Acorn squash is one of my favorites. And eat fermented foods like kimchi, sauerkraut, and kefir. Now, problem. You think you are the problem. You think you are a carboholic or a sugar addict, but you resorting to overeating bad foods regularly is not a character flaw. It's a flaw in the bulk of your nutrition. And if you stop trying to live off of 400 calories or less between 5 a.m. and 5 p.m., you would see that you can actually have control over your eating when you focus on controlling the right things. So, nutrition is actually simple. I want to leave you with this because I know now after going through all this, some of you might be like, well, how do I eat? What do I eat? And I want to actually not complicate this for you. Nutrition is really simple. I don't believe God made us to be that complicated. Complex, yes. Unique, yes. A masterpiece, absolutely. But making eating to nourish our bodies complicated, I believe my Heavenly Father wouldn't make it a puzzle. Eat the food He put on earth for us to eat. Animal proteins, complex carbohydrate based vegetables like sweet potatoes and acorn squash, grains, even fruits, some vegetables. Eat at the stopping point a human would have eaten in between labor. Eat significant protein because that's what most humans would have had in stock. Eat when the sun is up and don't eat after the sun is down. But our lifestyles are different, and not everyone will start at the same place. Because of that, I have programs that help you get started with eating the right foods, prioritizing protein, fats, and yes, carbs and fiber, while also not overwhelming you completely. It's a system that will also help you get dialed in quicker, and that means consistent results. So if you're ready to start eating to lose weight, to burn fat, and build up your hormones, but feel confused on where to start, I've got you. Okay. I created a health hack step by step 30, 60, 90-day system to help you eat more of the right foods, not less. Hit your protein goals without overcomplicating it. Balance your hormones naturally so your body works for you, not against you, and the cost is only $225 and includes one-on-one coaching, nutrition strategy, and daily protein supplements to help you make your high protein, whole food, healthy dreams a reality, with the guardrails of making structured eating more simple so that we can get you more precise results in a shorter time frame so that you can feel confident in the direction you're going and increase consistency. If that's you, if that's where you need to start, all you need to say is, I'm ready, in the comments, and message me directly, and we'll talk about getting you started on the right plan. Now, if you're just here for the free stuff, good. That is exactly why I created this community. You are important too. Let's build this community together. Make sure that you join the Fed to Fit Facebook group. I will put the link in the comments once we're done here, because all of your freebies and then some are there. The complete Fed to Fit system guide is in there, not to mention a 5-week challenge you can do by yourself to get yourself on the right track. And then also, very importantly, I'll put this one in the comments too. Make sure that you sign up for the monthly Fed to Fit newsletter that I will start sending out next month, because that will keep you in the loop of all the goodies, anything I'm doing in the group, anything that we're doing for Girl Talk series, any kind of nutrition and health tips, but also the upcoming spring Fed to Fit health challenge. So make sure that you at least take advantage and go to those two links and get pulled into the community so that you can stay in the loop. All right. I enjoyed this so much. I am so glad that you're here, and I want you to be a part of this community and just stay plugged in. Look, it took me quite a while to get my head on straight, and this is the last thing that I want to share with you before we look at some questions here. But it took me a little while to get my head on straight. And I had sources of inspiration that kept feeding me knowledge and wisdom. And when I thought that I couldn't do it, when I thought that maybe health was over for me, and I just was really on the struggle bus, those little pieces of information kept popping up on my phone and reminding me that what I was telling myself, that I was stuck or that my health was lost, was a complete lie, and that there was something better for me. So even though you may not be ready right now, or maybe you're just taking lots of little baby steps like I had to once too, I want you to say, stay plugged in here. Stay plugged into the community. It's okay if you can't go from 0 to 100 miles per hour, but staying in the community will continue to equip you and help you build up momentum at your pace. All right, ladies. see. Oh, chat is disabled. Oops. I am so sorry. I did not know that.